afternoon, my sister called to inform me that my 12-year-old niece, Cheyenne, had been arrested. At first, I thought my sister was joking with me because Cheyenne had never been in trouble at school a day in her life. When I asked my sister what Cheyenne had done to be arrested, she proceeded to tell me that Cheyenne was yelling and screaming at a student who was picking on her in class, and the teacher had asked her to stop yelling and to leave the classroom. When Cheyenne arrived at the principal's office, she was arrested for disturbing the peace within the classroom. Furthermore, she would receive 5 days suspension, 45 days minimum of alternative school, and would have to appear in family court. I understood Cheyenne needed to be disciplined for misbehaving, but I felt the punishment as dictated by the school's zero-tolerance policy was a little excessive. This is not the only case I have firsthand knowledge of. This week, as I was preparing this speech, I received a phone call from the principal of Three Rivers Elementary. He was trying to reach my friend concerning her son. I asked him if Shaikim was okay, and he informed me that Shaikim had had a bad day yesterday and that today had not started off on a good note. I told him I would get a hold of Shaikim's mother and give her the message. A few hours later, my friend called me back and told me that Shaikim had elbowed his teacher and is suspended from school for 3 days, will have to attend alternative school, and a family court hearing. I could not believe what I was hearing. Unlike Cheyenne, who is a preteen, Shaikim is 7 years old in the 2nd grade. However, they were disciplined the exact same manner except for the number of days of their suspension. While researching the zero-tolerance policy, I found many more examples of the policy being used indiscriminately and causing a negative impact on children. Therefore, the zero-tolerance policy needs to be revised before any more children are disciplined for minor infractions under the policy. I am sure many of you are wondering why the zero-tolerance policy is a concern to you. This policy concerns every one of us as Americans because it affects all of today's youth. One child who has been directly affected by the zero-tolerance policy being used indiscriminately is 6-year-old Zachary Christie. Zachary had joined Boy Scouts and was so excited that he brought his Boy Scout spoon, fork, and knife utensil to eat his lunch with at school. Zachary never had any intentions of using the utensil as a weapon. Nevertheless, due to the school's zero-tolerance policy, Zachary was suspended from school and ordered to district reform school for 45 days. Zachary is not the only child who has been suspended or expelled under the zero-tolerance policy for nonviolent infractions. There have been children suspended or expelled for bringing medication that was prescribed to them to school. Under the zero-tolerance policy, if your child has asthma and brings their inhaler to school, they will be suspended. The most absurd case is of 6-year-old Samus Morris, who was given another child a lemon drop, and he was suspended. According to ThisIsTrue.com, the school officials told Samus's mother that a kid who brings candy to school is comparable to a teen who brings a gun to school. According to NASPonline.org, studies have proven that the zero-tolerance policy has negative effects on children. Some of the negative effects include increased dropout rates, poor school climate, and low academic achievements. NASPonline.com also states that the American Academy of Pediatrics in 2003 stated that the suspension may predispose these children to antisocial and suicidal indications. In both Zachary and Cheyenne's case, this has proven to be true. Zachary did not want to return to school because he feared the other children would tease him for being suspended. Cheyenne, while attending alternative school, made the comment that she wanted to kill herself. She had to be admitted into Memorial Behavioral Health for 2 weeks. Since her release, she has had to have routine follow-ups with psychiatrists. It is unacceptable for our children to experience these negative effects when, according to NASPonline.com, the zero-tolerance policy has failed to increase school safety. What the policy has done is kept our children from accessing education given by schools. This is why we must take action and revise the zero-tolerance policy. We must revise the policy so that it is used for its actual purpose. policy was originally initiated on the federal level to swiftly suspend or expel children for violent infractions. When the policy was enacted, it was expected that the school officials would use common sense when dealing with each individual infraction. However, as you can see with the discipline actions taken for Cheyenne, Shakim, Zachary, and Samus, this is not currently the case. By revising the policy, we will keep it from being used in every infraction. Another solution is to educate school officials on how to properly implement the policy and address individual situations. Teaching school officials how to properly implement the zero tolerance policy will decrease the negative effects on children because they will no longer receive excessive punishment for nonviolent offenses. By revising the policy and educating school officials on its proper use, we will also keep students in school and lower the dropout rates. However, if we do not revise the policy, the dropout rate and mental health issues will continue to increase. Students that drop out of school tend to turn to the streets and become involved in criminal activity. Therefore, the crime rates will also increase. This will cause our taxes to increase and our sense of security to decrease, which will directly affect each and every one of us. That is why we must take action and write letters to our congressmen, senators, and school board officials, demanding this policy be revised. You also need to get the community involved by starting a petition and asking them to sign it. You need to ask yourself if you want your child expelled for minor infractions, such as bringing their inhaler. I am certain the answer is no. But failure to take action could result in your child being suspended, expelled, or treated as a criminal and given a juvenile record. In closing, I would like to remind you that it has been proven that the zero tolerance policy has not increased school safety. However, it has been used to discipline children for nonviolent infractions and cause negative effects on the youth that were disciplined under this policy. The only way to solve the problem is to take action and revise the zero tolerance policy. Thank you for your time.